Let's go.
Not too hard, girl. Not too hard. Come on, that's like 2.5 feet right there.
Well, Lori Mitchener, welcome to the Trails Collective interview series.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're happy you're here. So I first came across your story on the Massachusetts Ultra website, where you are now the local hero, literally running around in superhero costumes. And so why did you decide to do that?
Well, my daughter and I had run a couple like 5Ks at Christmas time when she was a bit younger. So we dressed up as like Mrs. Claus and an elf. So we had a couple of costumes, and she's really big now. She's 18, into Comic-Con. So she has a pretty nice collection of costumes. And then things were getting really weird really quickly. And it was Friday. I said, I'm gonna wear the Wonder Woman costume and go run, because I was really starting to get a little unraveled, and like, whatever. It's not even gonna be the weirdest thing people see today. Like, turn on the news and it's weirder than seeing the lady you always see running in a costume. So it was just kind of a lark. It was a Friday. It was kind of nasty out. People were like honking, and people were still working, like construction workers. So there were some guys up on a roof, and they were howling, like just laughing, yelling, like all positive stuff, no catcalling, nothing negative like that. And then, and I had a sword, like I had the whole outfit. And people loved it. I thought anyway, I got beeps and honks. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then the next day, or like the day after that, it was snowing. I was like, are you even kidding me right now? Like, it should not be snowing. It is the end of days. So I put on the Mrs. Claus costume. And where I live, so on Route 1 in Massachusetts, there was a pretty famous restaurant called the Hilltop Steakhouse, and it was iconic. It had a huge cactus and some cows, and they've sold it, whatever. But the cows are now in my town. They're, statues. So I like have a picture. I like ran over to the cows, and I'm like whispering in the cow's ear, like, we're gonna have to like go out and do this if Santa and the reindeer can't come. That was like the caption of the photo. And so I'm like, it's snowing, everybody's quarantined, and here's the lady that's always running around like a ding-a-ling, dressed up like Mrs. Claus in the middle of the snow. And so it just kind of like went from there. Like, I was getting feedback from the neighbors or like people in town just saying like, oh, I saw you running in a costume, it was great, or my kids loved it. And then one day a woman said, oh my God, that's great. This was before like everybody was even freaked out to talk to each other if you passed them running early on. And she said, will you run by my house? She's like, I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna go like get my kids in the window. So I did that, and her kids were like little, like probably like 4 and 5 years old, and they were like jumping up and down, super excited to see this like adult running in a costume by their house. It's like, oh, mom's not even that weird, this lady's doing it in a costume. And then just a couple other people like, can you run by? So I did that, and my daughters always wanted one of those big inflatable T-Rex costumes. And I always have said no. I was like, oh, how funny would it be to have the T-Rex chasing the sumo? And that was the video that I had sent you. So
Yeah.
she's in the T-Rex. So I'm like, fine, you can buy it, but you have to let Mrs. Parzielli, that's a friend of mine that lives in town. I'm like, you have to let her video us. So yeah, so we're running through the neighborhood. Like some of the people that know me, like just like whatever, she's weird. But like people that don't know us, like we're coming out and they're just like, what is going on? There is a woman in a sumo costume getting chased by someone in a T-Rex costume. So, and my friend had like told the other neighbors, like, this is happening, get the kids out. So they're all on their steps. It was good. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and people seemed to like it. So yeah, it just was like, well, I'm running a bunch of miles pretty slow anyway, so why not put a costume on? And so yeah, like Snow White was the only one that left a mark.
Oh, okay. What happened?
As a little chafing right like along the lats. It was pleasant, but it was
the worst.
Yeah.
Well, that's so fun. I think that like whatever we can do to like, I don't know, bring a smile to somebody else's face, or like, and I know when I look cool or when I look silly when I'm running, that makes me feel good too. So I can imagine that must have like really, the kids aren't going to remember like March 2020. That was 7 years long. They're going to remember that lady that was running in a superhero costume, or like, remember when the sumo chased the dinosaurs down the road? So I think it's great. Creating wonderful memories for these kids now. It's great. So let's take it back to when you started running. How did you start running? Did you run high school, college, do the whole thing, or did you pick it up later in life?
So I ran all the time, but not on the team. If that makes sense. Like I was just running. Plus, when I was in high school, I can make everybody motion sick right there. When I was in high school, I was an exchange student, so I did a lot of running around the world, but not on the team. Same thing. I went to Syracuse undergrad, so let's face it, I wasn't running D1.
Not lapping Justin Knight.
Not even a little bit. Plus, I was so like, I'm the lady that runs around in costumes here. My tenure at Syracuse was the girl on crutches.
Oh, okay. So you were a little injured from running or from other stuff?
No, let's see. Stage diving, drunk running, don't recommend it. Mountain biking. Most of it was mountain biking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stage diving?
Pearl Jam, worth it. Yeah.
You know, if you had to pick to get an injury, I mean, that's all right.
Yeah.
Good story.
It's
up there with like I was attacked by a shark.
What's that?
It's up there with like I was attacked by a shark. I was stage diving at Pearl Jam.
I've swam over a shark.
Oh, okay.
In like 2 feet of water. That was a little hairy.
You had a lot of experiences.
Yeah, I did the swim around Key West in 2014. I don't remember, but 2014. And yeah, there was not a shark that's going to eat your face off, but
still kind of sketchy. And then a couple years later, you went down and won the Keys 100. So
that's the thing. The Keys are my place. Like when I'm done with this world, just dump me in the ocean in Key West or whatever. Yeah, that's my place.
Oh, cool. I've heard of that race, and we'll talk about that. But I do want to get down to southern races just because I'm a warm weather person, and it snowed last week here. It's April, so it's almost May. So, but yeah. So when did you start running?
So, like I said, I'd run recreationally, and then I ran a lot at Syracuse, but not when I wasn't broken. So there was like freshman year, part of sophomore year, beginning of junior year, and that was it. My entire senior year was a bust, but so we'd run a lot, and it's not flat there at all.
No, I was going to say, I lived in Syracuse for 6 months, and I used to run around the campus, but like part of the problem with me living in Syracuse is like a running community, and having places to run is really important to me, and there wasn't much there.
And I was there in the early 90s, so even probably less so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I ran a lot, and then I went directly to graduate school, got my legs sorted out, ran a lot in Georgia, and I had this great big plan. All right, I'm going to run the Air Force Marathon in my second year of graduate school. It's going to be great. It was on my birthday, and I was still doing some PT, and I re-fractured my leg.
Oh my goodness. Doing PT?
Yeah, pardon me?
Doing PT?
Yeah, on the treadmill at physical therapy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hope you got a little discount on your PT.
Yeah.
They say about PT physical therapists wanting repeat customers. They just right there, they'll get you.
Yeah. So and that part of that was me saying, "Oh, it's great. It's fine. It doesn't hurt at all." So
yeah.
I have some responsibility in that.
So did you run the race?
I didn't run the race because I was busted up, and then I started having babies. So just more, and I was in a PhD program. I don't recommend those two things together, but whatever, get through it. So just a lot of running, not a lot of racing. And then I think my comeback if you will, to like running was the 2011 Boston Marathon.
Okay.
And
How did you get in without a qualifier?
I was a charity runner.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, a friend of mine, like in February, she was like, "You know anybody that would run for my daughters?" And I was like, "Yeah, me." So I did, and that was that. And then that was it. And then, so that was what, April, obviously. And then in May, I ran the inaugural Shires of Vermont marathon. And then I ran 2 more marathons in 2011. So I went from just running a bunch to 4 marathons in that first, like, sort of comeback year. And then it's just been a lot of running with some other endurance shenanigans thrown in.
So did you find you really liked racing, or is it still just you really just like to run?
I like, yeah, races kind of stress me out. Well, if I let them, right? Like, so I did a lot of races where it was like a run and I got like a medal at the end. I wouldn't really call it racing. So, and that was fun. I had 3 kids in short order. So this is also like my social time. So my time on the clock didn't really matter so much to me.
Yeah.
But now that they're older, and I'm like, it still really doesn't matter that much to me. So like, I'm not gonna, break any records or anything, but at least not a short stuff.
Yeah, I definitely can see how your mindset would transition you really nicely to ultra running, where it's less of a time thing and more of gritting it out and just loving running. And then, you had 3 children, so you're able to handle the pain.
Yeah, 3 kids with no drugs. Yeah. So also, they say, people that run ultras are crazy. Well, yeah, three kids in 4 years with no drugs, pain drugs for the childbirth. That'll get your pain cave.
That was your training.
That was my training.
So when was your first ultra?
2013.
And what was it?
It was the TARC 50K.
Okay, I've heard a lot about TARC.
They're amazing.
Yeah, so tell me more
Trail
about
Animal Running Club.
Yeah, Trail Animal Running Club. And do you know Samantha LeBlanc?
I don't know her in real life. I know her like social media.
That's all you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
she out of a lineup, but
so she used to be like I used to be on a team with her like a couple years ago, and that's how I met her. And she's a very she's extremely gritty. Like have you ever heard of the Grindstone 100? So like,
yeah, I'm very good friends with Megan Alvarado. She's got a lot to say about Grindstone.
Yeah, so like Grindstone is like Sam, where I'm like JFK. Like it's I enjoy running, and there is running in Grindstone, but it's a lot of hiking, and it's just something that so she is a real trail animal.
Yes.
Where I'm like a trail goldfish or something.
Same. I'm like maybe.
Yeah, so tell me more about TARC.
They do a lot. So they put on really great races, like grassroots, no frills. Everybody usually brings something for the aid station. I think like some years, if you win, you get something, but it's no participation medals. Thank you. Yeah, and they're committed to, volunteering, trail maintenance. So pretty good organization. I think they're very well respected by most of the, runners in the area.
So your first was the TARC 50K, and then did you go?
And that was terrible.
It was terrible. Oh yeah. So tell me.
Yeah. So I think I've run like, now that's trail, right? But I've run 50 miles on the road faster than I did that 50K.
I mean, to be completely fair, like that's considering how fast you are, and like once you get, that doesn't surprise me as much as you think it would.
Okay. And it was it was like 2 weeks after the 2013 Boston Marathon. So I still really wasn't sleeping. And it was just, I'm not saying like, oh, I would have had a great performance. No, but I think just like that whole time, it was just like it's a blur when I think about it. I was like, I had no idea what I was doing. Like 50K sounded like Monopoly money. Like, oh yeah, sure, like whatever, I'll do that. That would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then that last, I think it was like a 10K loop you did 5 times. I walked that entire last loop. But I'm looking at it right now. My oldest son, made a laurel wreath for me.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, and it's hanging up on the wall right now. So yeah.
That's so cute. And you know, you did it. So like
exactly.
doing a 50K in general is a huge accomplishment. So yeah. And then, so did you keep doing 50Ks for a while, or did you move up immediately, or yeah?
No, I moved up pretty. I think that might be the only 50K that I've like official 50K that I've done. Like I went out the door Saturday and did a 50K, but that doesn't count, right? But so like an actual race that I think that might be the only 50K I've ever done.
See, I like 50Ks. I think they might be my favorite distance.
I think that they're too close to the marathon and I should be a lot faster than I would be.
That's what I like.
Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like that about the marathon too. I'm like, it's so short. I should be faster, but I'm just not.
See, I think the marathon is like one of the like for me, the hardest distance. But like a 50K, you can go like a little slower and still do really well.
See, yeah, I think I would just get lulled into this, like, it's not, I don't know. It's long enough to be very difficult, obviously, but it's not so long that you're like, I don't even care what my time is.
That's true. Yeah. It's also very terrain dependent.
Oh, 100% agree with you on that one. And I feel like the longer the race gets, the better my chances are.
A lot of people feel that way.
I'm like a tugboat. Like it takes me along, like cruise it. Once I get up to that, like whatever speed I'm going to be, it's like a kabuki drum. Like that's my speed. That's what it's going to be.
So I noticed you've done JFK like 3 or 4 times. So
yeah.
what brings you back to that race? I've done it twice.
I love it. I would have done it last year. I had to run 300s, and it just from a financial standpoint, with travel and everything, it couldn't.
It is an expensive race.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's like for some of the other races, I had to fly and whatever. So, I just think JFK is great. I love it. If I was closer, I would do it every year.
Yeah, I did it in 2017, had a terrible race. It was awful. And then I did.
That was the year I didn't do it.
What?
That was the year I didn't do it.
It was like freezing rain, but I was also injured, but because it was so expensive, I wasn't going to not run it. I'm one of those people. Like back then I was one of those people. And which is fine. You one of those people. You do you. But and then
I was there that year. Anyway, continue on.
And then I did it this past year in 2019, and I hadn't really like been training for the distance. I was training for marathons. So at about mile 26, my legs let me know that I hadn't done that in over a year. And I finished fine, but it was hard. It was a real like jarring, like this is a 50 miler, like this is a 50 miler, and yeah, but I loved it. It was great. I want to go back because I think I could do even better.
I think it's great. And I think part of why it suits me is because I'm very careful on the trail, probably more than I need to be. Because I'm down with crutches. Mm-hmm. So I'm not busting anything anymore. And I know there's a lot of race when you get off the AT, and people be like, oh, look at that girl in the Hawaiian skirt, running the JFK in the nasty mud up to her ankles and like having wry comments. And then I mow right by him on the flat section. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Because there's a lot of race left when you get off.
Yeah, and AT this past year, a guy who actually, he had run the Hartford Marathon, which I had run also like a month before.
Yeah, you did definitely run the Hartford Marathon.
And he had run it too, and he passed me on the AT, and he's like, oh, congratulations on Hartford. I was like, oh, thank you. And I'm just, like very slowly dancing on the AT. And he's like, I'm going to pass you now, but I know I'll see you later. And like 10 minutes later,
Right.
He's like, I knew I'd see you. And I was just like, you had a lot of confidence in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, falling on that section is just not something that I want to like chance. And why should I? I've got 50 miles.
Exactly. So yeah, whenever I go to JFK, my goal is once I get off the AT to not get past, and I haven't.
That's a good goal. I don't know if I've gotten. I don't remember if I mean I obviously did during 2017, but I'm trying to block out that race in 2017. But I don't remember this past year. It was just a very odd experience. Like and I tell people like, don't worry, your legs will remember your training, and it's like kinda, but kinda, you know.
I'll also remind you.
Caveat.
Yeah.
So also, so my favorite thing in JFK, and I wish we need to petition to get these at the finish line because why they are in the middle of the race, I don't know.
I know where
Those
this is going.
And I'm like, I can't eat this right now. I want them at the end. Where's the soup? And like, so next year I might like bring a baggie so I can like, take them to
One.
the finish.
Just take one.
Is that a good idea?
Yes, that's what I literally did that.
That's such a good idea.
Yes.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, and they're delicious.
Yeah. Well, in 2017, I knew I wasn't doing very well, so I did have them and I did take them with me. But I mean, I wanted them like not there. Like
yeah.
But I realized they're not for me. They're for like everybody else. So
they're so good.
Yeah. I'm blessed.
I want those cookies at every race, actually.
What?
I want those cookies at every race.
Well, you're in Massachusetts. Have you ever had Wicked Good cookies at your races?
No.
No. Well, because I just interviewed
Chris.
Might
be there, but no.
Because I just interviewed Chris. He owns Wicked Good Cookies, and they have like a printer that they can print your face on the cookie. And I'm just like,
they want to send me some. I'll bring them to a race. Just kidding.
Talk them up, yeah. Yeah, cookies. Those cookies. Well, anyway, JFK.
Love it.
Middle of the race cookies. So also let's talk about, I guess, the Keys 100. Is that your first 100 or no?
That was my first 100.
That was, and you won. So I also want to talk to you about.
Okay, I won because Megan Alvarado was having a bad day. Like,
hey, I mean, whoever shows up at the start line, that's who you're racing. So it's fine. I mean, technically at JFK this past year, I technically beat Nicole Bitter, who I'm like, I don't even know how I'm up here. But you know, so she was she had a worse day than my bad day. So there we go. And I also noticed on Ultra Sign Up that you have won a couple races outright, which I have too. And I want to let's talk about this experience. Like, what was your experience winning a race outright? Mine was crazy.
So I won the Pine Creek 100 outright.
Yeah.
That was my second 100. So the thing with so when I won the Keys, I realized I had automatic entry to Badwater. But you have to still meet the requirements for Badwater, which is 3 100s, which I'd obviously never done because the Keys was the first. So I signed up. I'm like, first I was like, oh, that's too bad. And then like 30 seconds later, I looked at my Paul, right, my significant other, and I'm like, I got to go out to sign up right now. And he was totally on board. He's like, you definitely do, because this is probably, you know, like, yes. So I did Pine Creek in September, and I was like, I'm just going to finish, right? That's all I need to do. And then, let's be honest, I'm like looking at on Ultra Sign Up, which is a terrible thing to do. I'm like, I could be in the mix for the women, maybe, like, whatever. And so at mile 50, I took over the lead for the women, and that was great. I was like, all right. And then I was just the wall wasn't coming. I was like at mile 80 and I hadn't taken a walk break yet. I'm like, this is weird. Like, this is not me. I'm like definitely running above my pay grade. And so it was out and back, and I saw the first two guys that were ahead of me at this point, and one of them was laying on the ground, one of them was walking, but he was I'm like, I could run a marathon pace right now and I'm not going to catch him, but I caught him at mile 98.
So let's That's amazing because
Yeah.
because my experience was like so similar. I went to this race, like I'm training for the Hartford Marathon. I decide I'm going to go to this random 50K because it sounds fun. It's a beautiful day and it's near my house and it's cheap. And I just want to scratch the ultra bug. Like that's all I want to do. So I go. And of course I know that like just me running, like once you get to like a certain once you understand what kind of a runner you are, you're like, I'm always like in a small local 50K race, you're always going to be in the mix, like for women at least. But I also went just to like do it, have fun. I think I started out at like 8-minute pace. Like I was just, and it's not like there's a couple climbs, but it's not anything crazy. And then all of a sudden, I finished the third loop out of four, or third loop out of four, and the race director is like, the two guys are like, you're a couple minutes back. But I knew that there were only like a couple, like there was like 6 or 8 miles left. So like that's a lot. It's still kind of like a lot of minutes. Like I would have to knock off. But yeah, the second place guy caught him when he was walking up a hill. And then the first place guy, like at the last aid station where there's like 2 miles to go, I saw him at an aid station and I was like, nope. And I just flew by him and I just like ran for my life. So yeah, catching him like right there and then finishing. And I was like, yeah, it's insane.
So good. And my whole like driving force was my youngest son. It's like if you don't win, you didn't win. Like y'all want equal rights. It's no first female. It's you won or you came in whatever your place was. So he was like totally disinterested in the keys. He's like, you were, I think, 5th, like first female but 5th or 4th or whatever it was. He's like, you didn't win, Mom. No, go make me lunch. So as soon as I knew like that he was close, I was just like, I am going to win this so I can call that little twerp at 1 a.m. or whatever. It wasn't even, it was like 11:30 at night. I'm going to call him and I'm going to tell him I won. And he's going to be like, did you really win or were you first female? And that's exactly what happened. And I was like, no, I won.
So what were the awards? Because the funny part about mine, the reason it got crazy was because the awards said first overall and first overall female, both of which were me. So that's kind of how things got a little bit weird, but funny, crazy, but in a good way. So what happened with you?
So that race, there was no award. Like everybody got the same thing.
Oh, well, that makes it easy. That's
so they were all handmade mugs. So I got first pick.
Oh.
Handmade mugs. So
nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty sweet. So did you do?
I won the Hamsterwheel 6-hour. I was first overall, and that was the prizes were first male, first female. No distinction of overall, which is whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
And that was a course record too.
I mean, that's how it should be, I think.
Mm-hmm. Me too. And Phineas would agree with you. Like, yeah. Or maybe not even. He'd be like, no, just whoever wins, wins. But
well, when he grows up and understands a little bit more about anatomy and physiology, he might change his mind. But I like the sentiment. He believes in his mom. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So did you do a third 100?
I did. Well, yeah, because you have to do 3 to go to Badwater, and if you're So I did Daytona 100.
Okay. And how did that go?
That was tough.
Did you win?
Yeah.
There you go.
But I wanted to quit at 30, and I was like, can we just go home? Like, maybe there's a couple hundreds in January that's before the cutoff. And they're like, okay. My crew didn't even, because they know, right?
Yeah.
Work me. Like, yep. Why don't you just get to 50? Because Bob Becker, the race director from the Keys 100, was the aid station captain at mile 50. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I got to 50 and I was like, so happy to see him. And he was like, how's it going? He's like, because he's like just an awesome, for the running community. I said, it's not your race. I'm not feeling it. He said, there's a lot of race left. And you just keep going. And they're like, everyone, they were passing me along. And then Chris Kosman, who's the Badwater race director, was the aid station captain at 70. So I'm like, oh, I gotta put on the
And
yeah. So
This is really relatable because a lot of people think that when you run at the caliber that we do, that we never have low points, or like we don't, or like our low points start later. But sometimes, like now, it's like mile 10.
Yeah.
Out of 100.
Yep.
Great.
And then, so Daytona is it's all roads, right? And it's not close to traffic. And we got to aid station 80, and the first place female was sitting in a chair, and my crew all knew that she had been struggling and she had actually fallen, unfortunately. And so they waited till like once I saw her sit, I was just like, no, we're going, go. No, I was a cuckoo bird. I was like convinced that this guy that was on a bike was like giving intel back, like I was delusional. I'm like, first of all, you don't even care. It was the same thing. I'm like, I'm just going to finish, blah, blah, blah. And then that, you know how it is. It's like,
yeah.
Once you get there and you're in it, like you have to try. And so, yeah, we ended up, yeah.
So I'm assuming you're not going to Badwater this year, though.
Why not?
Oh, I thought it was canceled. I forget. It's in July. Oh. See, okay, I know, call me weird, but like Badwater's on my bucket list too.
The races this year so far have been canceled.
Huh?
Like Badwater Cape Fear had to be canceled. Badwater Salton Sea was supposed to be last weekend. He just sent out an email saying that I guess that the last possible date that it'll be go or don't go is June 1st. So that's when we'll know. Everyone will know. And so I've been living like with this cloud of doom over my head, as I'm sure everyone who's in Badwater right now is like, that's like, for someone like, that's the most prestigious race I'm ever going to run if I ever get to the start line. And so I'm like, oh, like my year is gone. Like there's no, what's going to happen next year. But he said in the last email that the field will carry over to 2021.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm training like it's this year. I want it to be this year. Everything is booked for this year. My crew is all dialed in. But I feel like, okay, at least I know like it doesn't happen this year. It's next year. It's 2021.
Yeah. And I mean, if any person can't do it in 2021 on your crew and you need someone, like I volunteer as tribute. I want to do a race eventually. I have never ran 100, but I know that like it's a race that would suit me. Like I feel like it would suit you. And so that is a race that I would like to try.
So
but
here's
I want
the plan.
First.
Go run the Keys.
Yes.
And win it. It's roads and it's flat.
It's 100 miles.
It doesn't matter. It's the Keys. It's like magic.
All right. Well, when, I'm not really planning anything for 2020 at this point. So
yeah, don't
look at it for 2021.
Yeah. I'm very sad because I was supposed to. So one of the things I love about running, which I like everybody that loves running loves about running, is the guy that came in right after me at the Keys. We were like trading back and forth. And he's on my crew. He came to Daytona and crewed me there. I was supposed to be his crew at the Keys 100 this year. Like, so we like just made like the greatest, like we're buds. All like so great. I love it. And so, yeah, I love running.
Yeah, me too. The hardest part is the community that we don't have right now.
So it's so great. And yeah, but so there's no Keys 100 this year. I'm super sad because I was going to go down. That was going to be like getting the band back together and just running and heat training, and it was going to be great. And yeah, so Megan Alvarado came in second female, and like, yeah, we talk like almost every day. So just great. I love running.
That's so cool. So Badwater, I'm guessing then my like lead out question is like, so what were you going to do this year and what are you doing instead? Do you have any, like, are you up on the virtual race scene, or like, are you, if you don't go to Badwater, are there any other things that you do personally? I'm not huge on FKTs, but I know a lot of people are right now.
Yeah, I'm not fast enough to win any, like to have any FKTs. So no. Every summer my partner does the Anchor Down Ultra 24-hour race in Bristol, Rhode Island. And so I have a bad feeling based on what the Rhode Island governor said yesterday that's not, I don't even want to say it too loud and like upset the apple cart. I don't think that race is going to happen this year either, unfortunately. But if it does, I'll be crew chief there, and I'm a brutal person to have on your crew. Like, it's everyone that knows the two of us like jokes like 24-hour race. Like he hits 100 miles, I'm like, whatever, this time on the clock, let's go. So hopefully we'll be doing that. But we were just saying this morning, if not, then we'll probably like if we can even get to New Hampshire, just do some stuff in the White Mountains, you know, get some speed goats and go. But yeah, I did the Vernal Equinox. That was the race on April 4th. A friend of mine is a race director. It was supposed to be an actual race in Ohio for Empower Ultras, and I love Nettie, and so once it was a virtual race, I signed up. So it was like a last minute, sure, I'll sign up for a 24-hour race. Never done a 24-hour race before. That was miserable. That involved me and Megan going back and forth on the phone, you know, telling me her telling me to put my big girl pants back on and get out there and keep running at 2 a.m. I'm like, I'm usually
You
done.
do it on a loop?
It was whatever you wanted.
Oh, okay.
Because it was virtual, so I did around my house until it got dark, and then there used to be a race literally 5K for me called the Ultra Around the Lake in Wakefield, Massachusetts. So I just did that loop until I just gave up. It's like just under 102 miles.
Oh, wow.
It's like, whatever, I'm done. It was just terrible.
Well, go out with a bang, I guess.
Yeah, it was like me, 900 bunny rabbits, and 3 cops that surely were just like, what the hell is this lady doing?
Costume?
No, but I have like all my like light up like safety gear on, but I figured it's like quarantine, global pandemic. No one is gonna attack me because I'll spit on them and they'll be afraid they're gonna get the Rona and leave me alone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we tell ourselves lies and rationalize things for running all the time, and I'm sure that was just one of them. But yeah, there was one person I saw a couple times out there too, just cranking out miles.
Wow. Maybe they were like, I see you, and they're like, challenge, and they're just going, and you don't even know you're challenged.
Yeah, I don't know, but he was like, I was old enough to be his mother, so I didn't really care. It was like 3 a.m. I'm like, good for you. I've been doing this since 7 a.m. yesterday.
That's just like, yeah.
Yeah, the things we tell
cool.
ourselves.
Yeah, I would like to do a timed event, but I think I'll start with a 6-hour option.
You should do a 6-hour event, and I'll tell you why. You might meet the greatest person ever in the history of your life.
Why?
That's where I met Paul, at the start of the Rhode Island success.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I keep thinking that I'm gonna meet a guy at like the races that I do, like, you know, like, great, we're all in the same, like, I mean, we might be seeing each other at our worst, like we're all, and everybody's happy at the end of an ultra, like you can't, I strike out, like, no, never.
But it wasn't planned. Like we met there, but then we didn't even like have a date for like 8 months. Like we didn't even, it was just, that's where we met. So it's like,
and then now quarantine is just not helping things out. It's like, oh, don't see anyone.
No, don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah, nah, it's all right. You know.
You're young. It'll be fine.
I'm not worried. I'm cool being me.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, this has been wonderful. Is there anything else that like we didn't talk about that? Let's plug your social media, Flat Lori. What is that?
Oh, yeah. Flat Lori. I was on a training run with a friend of mine and I passed out. I'll give you the short version. And he was very concerned. He was like, I turned around and there she was. That was, we were having one of those awesome games of Would You Rather. Don't you love doing that?
I love it. I play it all the time.
So great. And then he realized he was talking to himself and I was like totally like splayed out on the ground. And my maiden name is Stanley. So like Flat Stanley, Flat Lori.
I see. I like it.
Yeah.
And I loved your Boston video. That was pretty cool. I put it in our news show and our news show got flagged by YouTube, but it's okay.
Why?
I'm breaking laws. It's all right. But no, it's still fine. It's still up there. Like it wasn't flagged, like taken down. It was like, be careful.
Oh,
so,
I'm sure they would be the guys at Above the Summit. I'll send them a note, but I'm sure they would be fine with it.
It's all right. Ian's the head of the Trails Collective. He wasn't too, just like, more like, Ellie, be careful.
Yeah, I had no idea. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It was great. We loved it. And I'm going to put it in this video too. And yeah, it'll be great.
Awesome.
Well, it was wonderful to meet you. And
you too.
Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Awesome.